Triple Crown here, Saturday, June 1st, 2024. The unofficial start of summer is here, and the Midwest Monster is very quickly approaching. One of my final stops on the road to the largest regional show I'll be set up at this summer is the Eastgate Mall. I'm coming here today for multiple reasons. The first is to try to fill up my case as much as possible in anticipation for the second, which is also in anticipation that a lot of the repackers will be here and probably ask to buy my stuff. Now you may ask, why would I sell it now? I have a huge show coming up in only a few days' time, 6 days I believe to be exact. Why would I move it all now? Well, in the words of Thanos, for all of my Marvel fans out there, they are inevitable. Or at least that's kind of what he says. I assume that there's going to be a lot of the same repackers here at this show trying to buy as there will be at the Midwest Monster. I might as well get out ahead of it, sell them the football now, try to recoup cards for the Midwest Monster and keep the process rolling. That's exactly what happens. I ended up selling to a couple of repackers who stopped me on the show floor, made about $3,400 in sales, and then started walking around trying to replace stuff. And I gotta say, trying to replace these cards is, it feels like pushing a boulder up a hill sometimes. What's the Greek legend, the tale of Sisyphus or whatever, where he's constantly pushing the boulder up the hill? That's what it feels like at times, and I definitely have my work cut out for me. I usually work pretty well under pressure. That's not as big of a concern to me. Whatever I roll into the monster with, I roll in with. If that happens to be cash and I have to focus on buying, so be it. It turns out that I end up getting quite a few things online later on, but I managed to find a few cards here at the show today. I don't have clips of the sales that I made. I don't think it's all that riveting of content. I'd rather show you some of the things that I found on the show floor and some of the negotiations. But with that said, I just wanted to preface kind of what happened leading up to some of the clips that you'll see in this video and why I made some of the moves that I did. Let's go ahead and get into it, and the first deal that we're going to jump into is the biggest of the show, another large Stroud.
It was a shitty combo, that's why I didn't buy it.
I know.
Like 5 months ago.
I know.
It's like $12.50.
But it's like you're not selling them a Holmes patch auto.
Yeah, no, hell no.
It's just crazy.
At the very least, I have resigned myself to picking up one really nice high quality card at this show. How do I measure that? It would be something that I would put into a slab mag. I want a really nice autograph or low serial numbered card from a nice product of one of the best names in football, or something along the same lines for one of the best names currently in baseball, or perhaps even a Hall of Famer if the right card spoke to me. Patrick Mahomes certainly fits this case. I love his autograph, especially before he shortened it to a signature that has an unfortunate nickname these days, but a truthful one at that. This is a patch auto with his elongated signature. It looks really nice. One of those that will definitely catch attention in a showcase. But at the price that it's stickered at, I don't think it's necessarily the right card for me. Obsidian isn't the best product out there, but for Mahomes autos, especially one with this quality of signature, beggars cannot be choosers. I think that I could find one that is more to my liking though, and therefore I'm going to shop around a little bit more, particularly in this dealer's case. I see another large CJ Stroud card, and although his cards usually make me a bit nervous, I'm a little hesitant to jump on them. So far they haven't led me astray, and might as well try it again if it keeps working for me.
Move that back, see, I think probably be a little too far away.
Yeah.
It's awesome though.
I know, it's one of those ones where it's like it's high priced, but I also don't mind keeping it because it's Mahomes. My card.
Can I see the Stroud?
Which one?
The checker.
Is your brother coming down today?
Thank you.
I've seen it. I really haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Right into your heart. If it's here, it's not that much.
Yeah.
Some of the other.
Yeah.
I was just thinking it would be a few people.
I knew, I remember that seeing you in high school. You said
If I take this sauce, wit,
and Richardson would make it 2 even. This is a strange offer from me because I'm basically offering to take the Stroud at full price, but all the other cards in the deal would be free at that point. To me, it's always weird when you're making an offer and you pretty much take the dealer's sticker price on one card, and that is the whole offer for the whole stack. But this Stroud, I'd like to be into it a little bit less if possible. The other cards are more so placeholders. I do really like the Witt Transcendent Auto in there. But for the most part, the Stroud is going to be the headliner here. This is going to be the card that makes or breaks the deal. I was looking at various sales. I'm going to show you a screen capture right here of what I was seeing on it. The most glaring thing that will stand out to you here in this little screen capture is the last sale, clocking in at $25.50. Immediately, I'm sure there's red flags going off to a lot of people saying, oh, that's shilled, that's not a legitimate sale. And to this point, I can't tell you one way or another. It shows up in Card Ladder. It shows up in Terapeak. It doesn't show as relisted on alts. You'll see that there's plenty that do show that. But to this point in time, I can't tell you if it's legitimate or not. I looked up the listing. It was a Probstein auction. That raises some red flags for reasons that probably go without saying. Looking into the bidder history, though, the winning bidder had a feedback score of over 32,000. Gives me a little bit more confidence that it was legitimate. Their bid activity with Probstein specifically was not abundantly high, where I would have cause for concern. Most of the other profiles that were up towards the top had high feedback scores as well, where I'm talking about over 1,000, and their bid activity with Probstein also not outrageous. The detective work says that this looks pretty legitimate. There is no way, of course, to know for sure. But at this point in time, I have no choice but to go off of that and go off of a combination of all the other sales. This is a hot card. This is one of the hottest names out there in the hobby right now. It's a really good card. It's the best grade you can get of this card. And for that reason, I have to be interested in it. Like I said earlier, I'm always nervous putting any kind of significant money into some of these big name quarterbacks that are relatively unproven. Say what you will about Stroud. I know he had a great rookie year. He's still, for the most part, unproven compared to some of the other guys out there. But so far, I haven't been led astray on any Stroud cards. I haven't taken a loss on them yet. I don't see any reason to stay away from this one here. But it will definitely help mitigate the risk if I can bundle it as I'm attempting to do. Let's continue to attempt to do that.
I would do 22.
When you see me pointing like that, what that means is that I'm trying to figure out what I'd be into each individual card at to add up to 2,200, and therefore try to make the deal work and determine if I'm going to take that offer or I'm going to counter it, or simply walk away as well, as always an option. But we're close enough here where I don't feel like there's any need to walk away. I certainly don't want to be at 22. If I have to, I'll add more cards, but we're close enough where I think we're going to get this done. I'll do 21 if you add the Scherzer. A few different ways this will go here. He'll take 21. That'd be perfect. He'll come back at 21.50. I'll gladly take that. He comes back at 22. Hopefully we'll meet at 21.50. Anything above 22 might need some more work on the deal. Hoping it's one of those first two options though.
I'm still missing something because I'd like to be. I don't want to come too far off a sticker on this because at the lowest I'm thinking like 1850 on that, like 50 on that. So there's 19 between the two.
Okay.
I'm already losing on this. So I don't really give a shit. Like you can just call that at 50 for all I give a fuck.
All right.
And then these two I'd be like a little more firm on, just because, not firm, but like that's where like we'd be off a little bit, just because I got that at 140, so I just want to be around like that 130, 140.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
So that would make that like 2050 somewhere in there, right? If that's at 140.
So you said 1850.
1850, 50.
So 19.
1950. That would put it. Yeah, like 20, if I was at 140, it's 1950, it's 2090, and then that would be 21 on the dot.
I think when he was adding those numbers up and he came out to right around 21, that was a little less than where he wanted to be at. My feeling now tells me that he's going to come back at either 2150 or 22, and I'm feeling really good about that. Hopefully it's 2150 like I think it's going to be.
Okay, so this was 1950 here.
Yeah.
Set that aside. This here.
Would you do 2150?
Yeah, that's fine.
Handshake to seal the deal on 2 Transcendent Autos, 1 future Hall of Famer, one of the game's brightest young stars in Bobby Witt Jr., cheap little case hit of Anthony Richardson, Sauce Gardner, Prism, rookie, and then the main event being the Stroud checker. I don't think that this was a screaming deal by any means, but this was definitely a worthwhile bundle to take a chance on. That's the kind of things I need to be doing. After this Stroud deal, things really start to slow down for me. You'll see I pick up a couple of smaller things from tables. I really have to look in places where the repackers have not, since they've pretty much already swept through the show floor. A lot of that is going to rely on going into value boxes, going through these binders like you see here, or looking for some cheaper items on tables specifically for baseball, since a lot of the repackers stick mostly to football, while some will also dabble in basketball, and kind of hit the areas where I know they probably haven't been. I had some decent success. There were some good value box finds that I had. No additions for any of my sets, unfortunately, but still some solid little things that I rescued out of the value boxes, and a few smaller pickups that I had just shopping on tables, and you'll see that here in the next few clips. Once I show you those, we'll go ahead and wrap it up with some thoughts overall on the show and kind of where I'm at right now.
Would you do 20 for the Miggy and the Westberg?
Yeah.
All right.
Sweet.
Thank you very much.
Brother. Welcome. Thank you.
Have a good rest of your show.
You too.
Can I give you $15 US for that Latavius Murray? Oh, that's trippy. I thought there was going to be glass there.
To wrap things up here, I want to talk about the selling and how I've been selling a lot lately. I've kind of come to the realization that I'm going to have to tighten my margins a little bit more. When I came home from this show, I was feeling very pensive and reflective, kind of looking back at my numbers after putting them in my spreadsheet, and I wasn't really satisfied with some of the margins that I was getting on a lot of these cards. The thing is that I don't buy them specifically to sell to repackers. I buy them to put out in my cases, and I really should only be selling in these quantities if I am happy with the number I'm getting, and right now I'm not thrilled with the number I'm getting. I would say I am somewhat satisfied is the best way I can put it. I feel like I'm gonna have to tighten up some of my prices to some of the repackers out there, and that will probably be reflected in my next video from the Midwest Monster. I'm going to try to hold myself accountable a little bit more, as I have with trying to take more risks, and I feel like I've been able to do that after conversing with some friends and loved ones. I feel that that is what I'm ultimately going to have to do. I'm going to have to be a little bit more protective over my better stuff. Not every single card I need to milk every single penny out of. That's just not the way I operate. I am more of a volume seller than I am a pick and choose your spot seller, and because of that reason I can't afford to get super picky. But at the same time, certain cards I need to be a lot more protective over, and I need to make sure that I am getting to a number where I am comfortable with, and really out risking a certain offer to potentially make more later, and sometimes taking that chance that I will get an offer that is substantially better, and it won't take years and years to get it. It will take a reasonable amount of time. Let's just put it that way. But that is it for this vlog. It will be the last one before the Midwest Monster. I'll have at least one, possibly two more videos coming out prior to that show. Hopefully you will tune into those. But if not, I will certainly see you out in Fishers for the Midwest Monster. Take care, stay safe, be kind.